There is such a kind of creature in the world. They have been discovered by a few people, but their existence has not been confirmed. We collectively refer to this type of creature as unidentified mysterious animal, or UMA for short. Hello everyone. Welcome to the UMA video series. In this issue, we bring you the mysterious man-eating tree from the island of Madagascar. It eats people and trees, as the name suggests. Is a carnivorous plant large enough to hunt humans and other large mammals. The legend about the man-eating tree first originated in the second half of the 19th century. On April 28, 1874, a reporter named Edmund Spencer published an article in the New York World which mentioned a large tree that could eat people. This caused quite a stir in the United States at the time. Sensation. In October of that year, Spencer was again in the South Australian Chronicle. This bizarre story is told in detail. The article mentioned that a German explorer, Karl Riesch, and his companion Hendrik came into contact with a local primitive race called Makoto when they traveled through the African island of Madagascar. They followed and participated in the sacrifice ceremony of this race. I witnessed locals surrounding a woman and forcing her to climb a strange tree with weapons. According to him, the tree was 8 feet tall and looked like a giant pineapple. There are huge 812-foot-long leaves extending to the ground. The tree stretches out a large number of vines, wrapping the woman around the leaves, wrapping her tightly and digesting her. Immediately afterwards, mucus mixed with blood was secreted from the gaps in the leaves. Those tribesmen quickly collected the liquid and drank it, as if it were jade dew and nectar. The Makoto people are extremely enthusiastic about this slime. A few days later, when Karl saw the big tree again, he found only bones and leaves that had opened on the ground. On the island, he also found several identical plants that can prey on small lemurs. At that time, the influence of print media could be said to be as popular as radio photos, and the events were described in great detail, so the news about the man-eating tree began to spread like a typhoon. From the late 19th century to the early 20th century, many explorers went in search of man-eating trees, but all failed. Coincidentally, in 1887, Bill James William described for us a man-eating plant in South America, the Atevio tree, in his seminal book, Sea and Land. The book tells that this plant grows in Central Africa and South America. It has a short and thick trunk, covered with soft and tough vines, hanging down to the ground vines, covered with barbs and spikes. When someone enters its rattan area, they will move like giant snakes and wrap themselves around the person. The sharp spines scratch the skin of the prey and suck its blood until it dries up. Since the story of the Madagascar tree and the Atevio tree spread, reports about man-eating trees have continued to emerge from all over the world, such as the vampire vine in Nicaragua, the Nubian tree in Nubia, and so on. So does this human-eating plant really exist? Today, in 2022, among the more than 600 carnivorous plants that have been defined, the largest one is P. raja, which can grow up to 6 meters long and preys on small mammals such as pikas and rabbits. But it is still quite different in shape from the rumored man-eating tree. Another Chilean puya pineapple is similar to the description of the man-eating tree. It is also called the poplar-eating tree. It can grow to about 2 meters, but its hunting method is passive because its leaves have barbs. When an animal approaches, it will be caught on the spikes and unable to escape until it dies and is turned into nutrients. But there is no actual evidence that Chile is popular. The pineapples are deliberately captured animals. Moreover, the characteristics of the man-eating plants appearing in several stories are very similar, and they should belong to the Morrissey tree. But their hunting method is more like a giant flytrap, which is inconsistent with the characteristics of all plants we know. Related, there are many records of man-eating trees, and almost all events are described in great detail, which makes more people believe that this large carnivorous plant is real. But in fact, as early as 1888, someone had already explained the Madagascar tree incident. The relevant information was provided in the second issue of Contemporary Literature founded by Frederick, saying that the rumor of the man-eating tree was actually fabricated by Spencer. Story. In the same year, Spencer also included it as Wonderful Stories, the Many-Eating Tree. In his conversation, he expressed that in order to give readers a feeling of terror, all that is needed is unlimited exaggeration. Soon, beginning in the late 19th century, a trend of debunking rumors about man-eating trees began, and this trend spread until the 1950s. Almost all popular science publications in the United States have explained the cannibal tree incident. The most famous of which is the book Salamanders and Other Wonders, published by science writer Leigh Wiley in 1955. which demonstrates in detail that this is a hoax. Cannibalism in Madagascar. The tree is fake, the German explorers do not exist, and the Makoto race does not even exist locally. Speaking of this, the author found something very interesting when searching for information. I believe you may have heard the rumors about the man-eating tree. I also mentioned it in my previous series of works of the shadow crocodile. It is also a tree. The man-eating tree is said to have been discovered on the Indonesian island of Java in 1903. Its story is almost exactly the same as the discovery of the tree in Madagascar, even including the names of the characters. At that time, I was convinced of this statement, but I later discovered it after searching for information. See, this is a rumored version on the internet, since the story of the man-eating tree was introduced to our country in the 1990s. A large number of media adapted and exaggerated the story to achieve this statement. This also led to popular science publications and film and television works at the time to include this story as a real event, including our childhood blue cat. In fact, the species Dianbai does not exist among the more than 5,000 species of plants discovered by naturalists on Java. To this day, we can often see derivative images of man-eating trees in various film and television novels. They are extremely powerful and agile. Just like Spencer's theory of exaggerated fear, when something in one's cognition suddenly becomes extremely abnormal, it often causes the deepest panic in people's hearts. To this day, the man-eating tree is still listed as one of the unconfirmed organisms, because only the Madagascar tree has been confirmed as a rumor. But it is like the Atevio tree. Legends of vampire vines and other creatures still exist. Maybe right now, somewhere in the world, there is such a large tree that looks harmless to humans and animals, waiting for prey to come. Again, the unknown is always greater than the known, which is also the charm of Uma. Okay, that's it for this video. Thanks for watching.